Hey, Basket Brains. Kirby here, aka Darkwing Disc, and this morning I taught my cat how to shave. Alongside of me is Ollie and one time he was bit by a venomous snake, and after 5 days of being in excruciating pain, that snake finally died. This is episode 46 of the K.O Disc Golf Show. Episode 46 is the Paris episode. Famous players who wear the number 46, Lee Smith and John Kochar. Lee Smith was a pitcher for the Cubs, and John Kochar, I believe, played for the Grizzlies. I'm not too familiar with him, though. Famous Red Sox players to wear the number 46, Craig Kimbrell, Jacoby Ellsbury, and Bob Stanley wear the number for longer than any other Red Sox. Mariners to wear the number 46. There wasn't many of them, and the most recent one was Trent Thornton in 2024. Buffalo Sabres to wear the number 46, Ilya Labushkin. And Ollie, you want to hit us with the Kraken and the Giants?
Yes, sir. For Kraken, we got Vili oh my God.
Yeah.
Otovainen. Ville
Okay.
Otovainen from Oulu, Finland, number 46 defender for the Kraken.
Cool.
Awesome. Not too many prevalent 46s in the Giants history, which kind of surprised me. I felt like there was a couple that I don't know. I don't know. It was kind of interesting. But the biggest one was Mike Dennis from 1980 to 1983. So the longest career of any 46 in Giants history is 3 years. Kind of crazy to me.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's definitely interesting. I just looked up the John Conchar, that guy.
Yeah.
I don't know who he is. He went to West Chicago Community College and had like a very small career in the NBA, I believe. I don't know if he's even still in the NBA.
Oh, he came up as like one of the top.
I was like
number 46.
I was like, I don't think I know like a John Conchar in the NBA. And then so I just thought that's so funny. I thought that was pretty awesome. I think it's pretty.
All right. You know what? He's a West Chicago Community College legend. So how do you not know
Honestly,
John
I know.
Conchar?
Honestly, I feel like I just got taught a little bit on a white hooper. One of the
Not many of them. I swear he
dude.
came up as like the number 2 when I was looking it up, and I was like, no kidding. Apparently Andy Pettitte was also a number 46, but he was a good pitcher. I don't know. I kind of hate on him because he was with the Yankees for so long, but
This is our
he
show.
was,
We can hate.
yeah,
We
hate
can
it.
give 46s credit when we want.
That's right. Hate on whoever we want to.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Maybe because the other one I just looked it up. It was like a guy who averaged 5 points in his career for the Celtics. They're just pulled up for number 46. So maybe there's like A46s.
Yeah, yeah.
But honestly,
So
shout out to that. Shout out to John. It's his episode, man. Shout out to
that's
John
funny. Yeah,
Conchar.
dedicated to John here. Ollie, how you doing, man? How's
Doing
everything
well.
going?
Doing
Good.
well. Yeah, kind of transitioning to a little bit of some stuff at work where I'm not having to do as much closing stuff. Doing a little more of like inside the building stuff. Talking to more customers. We're about to be doing this new program with like making sure everyone has their auto renewal on, and I think there's
Hmm.
like some stuff you get with that. So I'll just be talking to customers about that. So kind of I found a way to get away from the closing shifts and get it off a little earlier, which I was like, okay. Most people were telling me it'd take like a year plus, so I was like, this is already better than that. So I
Yeah,
take that and the little advancements there. Um,
that's cool. I saw your story. I think it was like yesterday. Bro, you're hustling, man. It was
oh,
awesome.
I'm telling you, I that's one of my least favorite roles, that cashier assistant, because I feel a little stressed out, honestly.
Mhm.
Because like you just look back and there's like a big line, and the cashiers, they're like on a time system, or like, yeah, they're trying to go as fast as they
Mhm.
can, because like they get, if they are numbers are like certain low enough, they can get booted off being a cashier or something like that. So,
Oh,
or
geez.
it's something weird like that, where I was like, I don't really like that system at all.
Yeah.
I
And
was
they're
like,
looking at you like, don't slow me down, punk.
no, and I kind of get it why they were so like on your assistant. That's why they don't like bad assistants. They do like good assistants. Luckily, I feel like people have told me I'm a liked assistant, so I try to go quick, and I try to make it so easier for them. But it's one thing I don't enjoy about that is for that, because it's just a little high. Like, I don't know. It's like if things were just slowed down a tiny bit, I feel like, or like maybe not the pressure to go as fast, but then
Yeah.
also that's it's what makes
It's a little,
Costco Costco. Yeah.
yeah, it's a little high octane at times,
Yeah.
So that's, I mean, is
But
what it is,
I'd be
but
grinding,
yeah,
and
yeah.
honestly, that role is getting easier and more enjoyable for me. And What I'm learning too is if I have a good cashier, even if it's a fast cashier, like as long like because they'll finish up and then they'll start helping you if they're a good cashier, like
Mm.
they're doing things that are like
Just
they
like
won't
a
start the next
flow.
order, and like yeah, so they make your life easier. So definitely a good cashier can do that. But I was out there. Shout out to Nate Ives. He comes into Costco a lot. I did swimming and water polo with him growing up, and we grew up at the same community pool, Wedgwood. So he comes into Costco, and he honestly makes my day. It's so fun seeing people that I know, and just like it's cool. It's cool getting a big hug and just saying what's up.
Nice. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I got back from California last night. I left. Basically, we finished. I finished my round at Oak Grove on Sunday. I called my wife. I like had a snack in the car, and then I hit the road basically. And I got about 6 hours away, so about 10 o'clock or so. I camped out. Left about 4 o'clock in the morning yesterday, and I made it home last night in time to have dinner with Ellie. So I
That's a
drove like
drive.
yeah, it was like 12 straight hours. It was basically from like the Sacramento area, pretty much like straight up. Yeah, I stopped like 3 times just to like fill up on gas, but like I didn't even really like I had snacks and stuff like that with me, so I didn't even really need to like stop for like lunch or anything like that. So
The road
yeah,
sack.
yeah, just I'm feeling it today for sure. Like my right hip and my like right knee are just like a little like just like sore, just from being in the car. Like I was telling you before the show, like my shoulders and my chest are kind of just a little like extra poppy today, just from being in the same position for so long. But really happy to be home. It's great to see the wife, obviously. The cats are, super, super happy to see me. Teddy and Snicks like have not left my side and have been like glued to me since I've been home, which is just so sweet, really feeling the love. So yeah, really cool. Wintertime Open was awesome. Sunday, the weather down in California was like absolutely perfect, like low 70s, just like a gentle breeze. It was just the whole day was just I loved it. I was like, man, like I want to bring this weather back with me. It was so nice. You met a lot of cool people. I met Steve Rico. I met his nephew Cam Rico. I played with a lot of cool people. This guy Randall, who is just like man, what a character. Just like a really just like interesting guy. I think he usually plays like maybe MA1 or MA40 maybe. And he's forehand only and he's got like pretty good distance, but I wouldn't say like elite distance with his forehand. He's got like a really like nose up, like really like lofty kind of like putt that's like I don't know, when he makes them, it's like so impressive. And when he misses, he's really not that far away either, where like he can still make the comeback really easily. Just a really interesting game. Really like just such a nice guy too, like genuinely just really, really nice and really interesting. Andy, Eli, I played with them. They were both really great. Diego, I played with round two and round three. Diego was freaking awesome. It's funny because I actually watched a YouTube video that Diego made last year of the Wintertime Open because he did like a practice round with one of his friends. And when I walked up for round two, I kind of like looked over at him and I was like, I think I know this guy. And then kind of chatting with him, I was like, you were the guy that did that video. And he's like, yeah, that was me. And he also puts with P2, so he and I were kind of like locked in on each other. And I credit him a lot for like kind of helping me rally during that second round because like I birdied almost the entire back nine, and I think a lot of that was like me looking at Diego and Diego looking at me, being like, "We doing this? Let's go!" and kind of like kind of putting the game face on and like pushing each other. So yeah, it was just great experience. Car camping was honestly better than I thought it would be. I parked in a Planet Fitness parking lot because I have a Planet Fitness membership, so that's where I was going to like shower and you like use the bathroom and stuff in the morning, and a lot. So I would find a Planet Fitness that was 24 hours, and I would go and just kind of park in the parking lot. I would set up. I would like block out the windows because I had these like things to kind of cover them, and just kind of sleep for the night. So it was pretty. Honestly, like it was nice. The only day that was kind of miserable was Thursday, and it's because it was raining so hard and for so long, like the whole area flooded. Um, and that was really it sucked. I mean, I spent the whole day just kind of like chilling, like in the parking lot at Oak Grove, being like, as soon as it stops raining, I'm gonna go out and play, and I'm gonna go out and practice, and it just never slowed down. And then eventually at 4 o'clock, and I was like, screw it, we're gonna go see a movie, and I yeah, I went and saw Captain America that night just
Nice.
because yeah, I had to get out of the car. I was like, I got to do something here. So
I feel
Yeah.
that. Movie's a great idea when you're on a road trip. That's honestly pretty sweet. I
Yeah.
remember calling you on Wednesday when I was trying to figure out the line situation for Sling Singles and everything, and I was so jealous. It was like
Hmm.
60 degrees or something. You're like, oh yeah, I'm just playing my second round or like starting my round or something like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, I was
And
on
I
hole two.
and it was like I just got out of the car. It was like 30 degrees, but it had 26-mile-per-hour winds at
Hmm.
SouthFork, so it was like it was feeling like.
Yeah.
And I remember being like, oh, I was most envious I've been of 2025 so far.
Yeah, it was. I mean, oh man. Yeah, I loved it. I don't love California. I'm gonna say like the drivers down there are like total jackasses, and like it was just I don't. I at no point when I was down there I was like I would want to live here. Like I didn't really have that thought, but it just the weather was just so perfect for those few days, and it was such a relief because when I left Seattle, on Monday morning last week, it was like low 30s and it was like snowing and raining for a couple of days, and I was just like, man, it's so nice to just get out of that and then get into that nice weather. So, um, yeah, kind of talking about Wintertime Open and kind of getting into it. This is the 47th annual. They've been doing this for a very long time, which is really really cool. Round one, I shot really poor. I'm hoping that that's I don't know. I can't like say this, but like in a perfect world, round one will be my worst rated round of 2025. I did, I was missing like all my putts. I missed a bunch of shorties. I think I said I missed like 6 or 7 putts within 20 feet. I actually think it was like more than that. It was just a mess. I was just missing stuff all over the place. I was throwing really well, where I was giving myself good opportunities, and just I was totally unable to capitalize. So it was really frustrating. I really think not being able to practice on Thursday did kind of hurt me because I walked into a couple of holes kind of like unsure, or unsure of like the risk management kind of thing. Like I had a good idea of the shot I wanted to throw, but could I be a little more aggressive on like the left side of the fairway or the right side of the fairway and kind of play like slightly safer but still play aggressive kind of thing. So, not having that round, I felt like kind of hurt me a little bit. So I got out there really early Saturday, and really early Sunday. Saturday night, Friday night, I did like a ton of extra putting and stuff like that. So by the time I came around to round two and round three, I was like, hey, we got our game plan. We know like what sides of the fairway we can like attack a little harder. We know like where we definitely need to avoid, or desperately need to avoid, because that's going to lead us to the bogeys and the double bogeys kind of thing. At round three, I was able to play a completely bogeyless round, which was awesome. It was so hole 18, and I'm gonna post a video of my practice round maybe like tomorrow or the day after because I got to edit it a little bit. I just haven't been in Wi-Fi, so I haven't been able to post anything like that. Um, Hole 18 is really long and straight, and then kind of like dog legs left. And once you make the Mando and kind of go left, it's a tight like gap to get down to it. There's OB on the backside of the hole on the hole on the backside of the pin. It's a really really tight green down there, and it's hard to kind of get something to kind of bank through and kind of get a little to the right like that. And round three, I threw my drive OB long into the road. So I take it back and I'm looking and I have the entire road down. And there's a bunch of guys that are kind of standing on like this, just this big opening that's like right by the pin. And they all look at me and they start backing up. And I could see like everybody in the crowds, like kind of like, oh, the guy's about to throw the skip shot. He's going to throw the skip shot. And I was kind of like, I do think the skip shot's the best play. I was like, I mine as well. And I took out my splice and it's one of the few times where I was just like, the crowd wants me to throw the shot. I'm gonna throw the shot. And like it was perfect. I put it right under the pin. I had a bunch of people who like don't know me and aren't invested in what I'm doing, like cheering and like walking up and giving me like high fives, and they're like, we've been waiting all day for somebody to do that. That was
Hell
awesome.
yeah.
Like so it was a cool way to kind of finish with like a little like, yeah, like thank you everybody, so
Hey, people's
uh
champ. People's champ.
yeah, for sure. And it was kind of like a cool way for me to like feel like I slayed the beast of my weekend, which
Yeah.
was Hole 18, because Hole 18 was just like, taking my lunch money both the first and second round. So it was cool. It was a really, really cool way to finish. Meeting Steve Rico was really awesome. He seems like a super, super nice guy. His nephew Cam Rico won the event, shot absolutely lights out. That's his home course. He's out there like all the time playing, so good on him. Owen Scoggins won FPO, which is really cool. She was around all weekend, super nice. The way she interacts with people, like when she sees like a little girl who like obviously wants to come up and talk to her, and she cuts her conversation off to go over to that girl and like give her like the attention that the well, just like a hi, like how's it going? Oh, like you have this dyed mini for me. Thank you so much. Like you want to take a picture? Here you go. Like oh, I appreciate it. Like I'll see you later. Like I'll see you out there. She's so great about giving anybody who wants a little bit of her time, like the time that she feels like they deserve, and just giving all of her fans like a little bit of that experience. So, Owen Scoggins is without a doubt just like a world class talent and a world class person. Like she seems just so great, just all around. So, if you're not a fan, she's like one of the FPO players that like you have to be a fan of.
I was gonna say, if you're not a fan, you're psychotic.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You're
It's
not a
crazy.
fan. You're not a fan of disc golf if you're not a fan of Owen
Nah,
Scoggins.
she really is just like amazing. So, and it's like everybody. It's not just kids, Like there was like adults who like wanted to come over and say hi, and she's like, "Oh, thank you," and like shake their hand, and like, like really like it's like one of those like weird things where like she would stare you in the face and like talk to you, and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like we're having a conversation. This is awesome." And then she, like it was just she's great.
When I
So
talked to her, when I came down to Beaver State Fling went to caddy for you, I was like, I don't really want to like go and like get pictures or meet anyone. But then I saw Owen and I was like, no, I
yeah,
need to get a picture with
yeah.
Owen. And yeah, no, I
Yep.
was
I
so
remember
sweet.
that because
Yeah.
she had the champagne bottle
Yep.
and she like hit it, and I was like, "What are you doing?
Put it
Like, bring it
out.
out!" Yeah, exactly. So that's cool.
So
Um,
I totally got that same feeling. She gives so much like no matter who you are, she's just there for she understands like her place in disc golf, I feel like, and it's so like cool to see that where it's like she knows like when she interacts with everyone, it's like just it means a lot to those people. I know. It's
matters.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, it matters.
it's awesome. Yeah, very cool. Ollie, do you want to get into slinging singles this
Y-
past weekend?
Yep, on Saturday we had Sling Singles over at SouthFork Landing presented by Emerald City Discs. We had a pretty when I first got there, so I got there pretty early because I was gonna help set up. I put some flags up and do some other things. Alec Maccabee came up and iced all the tee pads, which was super awesome early. I remember I originally got there to try to go ice some tee pads, and I was like, "Where's the ice stuff?" And I didn't even realize Alec was out there. It was like so dark and so like kind
Mhm.
of foggy, where like I barely made it out. He was like on like 10 or 11 or something. I was like, "Oh my god." Um,
The guy's a beast. Yeah,
honestly,
probably still wearing shorts.
he was wearing so that I think that was his mistake. So he was wearing
Yeah.
pants. It got
Okay.
hot and then over hot, and I had to take went full shorts mode for the round. And I was like, okay,
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
it, I get it, I get it.
yeah. No,
But
he's a shorts guy through and through.
through and through. But awesome event. A few different changes. Like on hole 5, we had a tee pad that was unusable, so we kind of went off to the tree line to the left and found like some like dry ground, some even ground, and threw from. Made the shot. Uh, it ranged around like 405, 406. So,
Mhm.
but a little straighter of a shot than more of a hyzer angle. So definitely played easier, a little easier to get to that pole, that hole. I feel like the tree that would hit a lot of the hyzer shots that are coming in looking for like a little bit of ground play to get closer to the pin, wasn't really in play at all. Yeah, because of that. No OB on 9 was definitely, or no hazard on hole 9 was also another change, and that was kind of changed my play. I was like, oh, I'm just hucking it as like I'm trying to get into the bunker at to some extent.
At
The
that
first,
point, yeah.
yeah, at the first round, I was like, I decided to go just my regular play outside, and it actually worked out for me pretty well. But just with it being in play, the second round, I thought I would try to take advantage of doing a play like that. And I
Yeah,
was able to get
and
to the bunker, and actually, I don't think I made it to the bunker. I think I was short on the top side, so it ended up being a putt that I was like, oh, this is just a normal putt. Like I didn't even do that. I couldn't even do that right.
just like a
So
bad shot on the other side kind of thing. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, just so everybody knows, when Ollie called me on Wednesday and was like, "Hey man, there's like ice and snow, and I can't really break through this. Like, how should I paint?" And I was just like, "I don't really know, dude." I was like, "Let me call Brian, and I'll call you back." And I was just like, like. So I called Brian and talked with him like real quick because he was at Bach doing like a bunch of catering and stuff, and I was like, I don't know, dude. I was like, I think the easiest option and the thing that makes the most sense is just to like take it out. And he's like, do it. And I was like, all right, see you later. Hung up with him, called you, and like that was the plan. And that is the only that is 100% The whole reason is just it was so impossible to be able to paint hazard lines or OB lines at that point. Like, why bother trying? You know what I mean? And kind of complicating it. It's just like at that point, simplify it and eliminate them. The course is already playing hard enough, or the conditions are already difficult enough with how icy and cold it is. There's no reason to over penalize, or you know what I mean? Like, we're trying to have fun out there, right?
Yeah,
Like, that's the
a
whole
hundred
point.
percent.
So
I think it was amazing too, because like, yeah, it's already hard conditions to play in and be out there in, and I think having that made it. I think it was really fun. It was a different way to
yep,
play South Fork. I think South Fork's so cool because I've got to see it through so many lenses as well, and I think this is just an added lens to that layer of South Fork and how it's played.
yeah.
Um,
And the Mandos still keep enough teeth on the course, where it's just like you're not there's not holes that like there's a few holes, yes, like 9, I would say like 17, like 10, like without the OB, like there is like a little like less sense of pressure, but at the same time it's not like those like break the holes or anything like that.
the
It's not like
second
just
Mando there on 10 is still there, and like you
yeah,
saw people get aggressive with the no first OB, and like I saw people hit the second OB or the second Mando. So it's like those things do come into play still, where it's like
yeah.
I enjoyed how the course was playing, and then another hole that changed that I didn't even realize was that so much changed is that 10 with that tree
Yeah.
that really changed the hole. Like I thought I had the hole dialed with this mid-range magnolia shot, giving it like a tiny bit of like flat to Annie, and then it just kept being too
Do you mean
low. Huh?
11?
11, 11, 11,
Yeah,
11.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, my bad, my
Okay.
bad.
Yeah, yeah.
And so I thought I had it, and I thought it was, but it just kept being just low enough to just smack right on the like
Interesting.
the top of the tree. I thought I would have gotten more play going forward and gotten it, but I was
Yeah.
like, huh. I just need to like commit to either a higher shot or something else. But
Yeah.
I kind of had the shot dialed in my head, and I didn't want to change the nose angle, so I was like, maybe we can just slip by, like skip over, get over it a little bit.
Just
But
yeah, inch it or something.
yeah, I ended up having some okay rounds. I was pretty below expectations the both rounds. Um, kind of just I was giving myself so many birdie opportunities that first round. Um, I got to play with Colin Bryant, which was really awesome. And like I was like I'm driving and kind of keeping up with some of these drives, which was feeling really good. And then just like the putting and everything like that was just like definitely a major difference in that in the scoring, where I was like, okay, that's the difference of me being from 4 to 8 to 10 to like those different
Well,
numbers there.
yeah.
Yeah, where I'm like it's all right there, and it was really frustrating, but I kept a good mind, and it was like I really wanted to make sure the round was fun and everything. And I
Hmm.
honestly do really enjoy playing with Colin and Aaron so much. It's so awesome seeing them at the event.
Yeah. It's good people. Aaron's an amazing caddy. He's a great addition to have on the card. Like
Yeah,
he's one where like if you need a spotter or something like that, he's like, I got you, and he'll like run right up there. Like he's great. Yeah, good people for sure.
great chats. Like kind of knows when to talk, when not to talk, knows what to say, kind of thing as well. Where I'm
Yeah.
like it's a plus to have on the card. Um, There was by hole 14. There was a big kind of ice thing, like where the water goes over the pond goes over the grass sometimes, and there'll be like a
Yeah.
trail of water that kind of
Yeah.
iced over. And so there's this long thing. So I did this one thing. I like did the thing where you slide, and then I just did a practice swing and like pretended to throw at the end of it. And it was still able to keep like pretty good vibes on the card and everything like that. I ended up having, I think I got to go double check, but I think this is my first ever bogey free PDGA event in that first round, which is for
Cool.
me a pretty big deal because usually I'm pretty. And the thing is cool about that is like I didn't find any bunkers. I didn't like it wasn't like a cheap. I feel like I didn't cheat my way into getting it. I was like,
Yeah.
because I was like that could have been easy for sure, but I was like I didn't find any OBs. I didn't find any bunkers. I was like, that was a bogey free round for sure for me, and
Nice.
it felt good, but. I felt like I was very close to having like a 7-8 down, which would have been a PR for me in a tournament there, which would have felt good and would have been where I feel like I would have liked to have been. Um,
It's got to
and
be
then
close to 1,000.
yeah, and then the second round, I kind of just I kept the same attitude. I started on 3, and so I didn't bogey until I started on 3, and I didn't bogey till hole 15, and that was just I ran a putt on 15, and then it tickled the chains. And with this, I kind of am doing this new thing with my putt, kind of adding a little more spin and like rotation by bringing it down and then kind of like a quicker flick up. And so it just like got a little more momentum on the ground and kind of went further. And then that putt like really chained out. And so I was like, it does happen. It sucks that it happened on the same hole, when I went from birdie to bogey. Um, and that being my first bogey, I was like, I think I was like a little in my head about, oh, bogey free event would be so cool, dude.
Yeah.
And so then I think like that bogey really bummed me out. I was happy. I bounced back, birdied 16, birdied 17. I got 17 both days. I told myself I was laying in bed before, and I was like, no matter where I'm at on that pin, if I have like even a C2 putt, I'm running the putt. And I was like a solid like 30 feet out from that on the first round. I was a little closer. I was like 20-ish. The second round I was like 35, 30-ish. And
A big putt.
I gave it the height, and I was like, I know I could do it. And then we ended up star framing that, me, Maccabee, and Rex. So it was like such a
Wow.
cool star frame, like kind of ended it there. And then 18, I made the same mistake twice. I was throwing my destroyer, and I just like did not turn it or like committed to too much hyzer, where I ended up left, and that just created kind of nothing for me. The first round, I got lucky enough to be on the outside of it and save my 3. The second round, I was deep into it, and I was like, yeah, this is bad.
Yeah.
Um, just yeah, overall it feels good that my bad rounds are becoming like this. Like the floor is going higher, which is awesome. The ceiling, I'd like to push it a little more, but it's really it's getting there, and I feel like it's good for the first round of the year. But going through some winners of Sling Singles 3 at SouthFork Landing, we had Colin Bryant shoot a -24 through 2 rounds with a -13 round 2. Really awesome playing with him. 1 MPO. Corey A. Parker with a huge -5 round 2, 1 MA1, and that was awesome to see him kind of taking that down. And then, I was watching him go into that last hole with a few strokes where he wasn't. It was the triple Mando, where he kind of had that down. He could miss the Mando and lay up that and still be okay. So
Yeah.
awesome. Congrats to him. Shout out to Dylan Albrecht, who came down from Bellingham and played. He also is a T sponsor.
Cool.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
he streams on Twitch, so he's Disc Golfer 123 on Twitch. If you show him some love, I'll probably drop his thing down in the description. I know he watches and shows love to the KO Disc Golf Show. In FA1, Kayla
Already.
thank you. Kayla
Yeah.
Ority won FA1. Awesome. I met her for the first time, or sorry, for the first time.
She's great.
Yeah, super sweet. Had fully balked out. So it was like
yeah.
Bach hat, Bach
Her-
jacket.
Oh yeah, her and her husband Don. I've known them for a while. Don, when I first got sponsored by Discmania, hooked me up with like a box of discs because he's a big Discmania fan. So he got so excited when I first signed on because he was like, "Oh, like I got you, Kirby. Like here," and he gave me a bunch. Don's great. Kayla's great. Awesome people. Yeah, I'm really happy to have her on the box squad.
Sweet. Loving that. Jackson Messner won MA40. Shout out to the Mount Lake Terrace crew. He runs the doubles up there, and he's awesome. We had a MA60 goat off. Chuck Knudsen versus Michael Go. And Chuck Knudsen got the better of Michael Go. And
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
chalking it down, I'm just ready for this doubles event. I think everyone's getting a little jittery. I don't know if we can even compete at any more events until we get this doubles event. I think we're just charged up with this doubles energy.
Chuck
We need
and I
to-
must have talked every day for the last week or so. He would message me after my round, like on day 1. He's like, "Hey man, 18 sucks. Like you're all right." Day 2, and he's just like, "What's up with 18, bro?" And like he's texting me the day before, being like, "Hey, I'm battling Michael Go this weekend," and like he's so aware of it, and he's like, "I'm not gonna let you down, man." And I was like, Chuck, like my
Dude,
God,
you could never let me down, Chuck.
I know, but he's fully invested in it. Like he loves it. Like
Dude, I think it's great. MA60
Oh, yeah.
competition for the win, man.
Yes. It makes him. It's got him really motivated, which is really funny. Not funny, just like awesome. Like
Yeah,
it's
no,
just- it's
awesome.
awesome to see. Yeah, like he's he's just pumped about it. It's so cool.
Oh, I forget who came up to me, but someone came up to me, and it's even gotten to other people. They're like, "Oh, I beat your goat the other day, Ollie. I beat your goat." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "Come on." They're like, "I was watching your show, and you're like calling him the goats. I beat your goat." And I was like, "Okay,
Yes.
Michael." I was like, "I love it. I love it. I love it." I was like, "Hey,
That's
thanks for
awesome.
watching the show, man." And I was like, "I love what this does for I think it's just awesome competition and fun with that."
Yeah.
We will get that doubles match out there, so it'll be cool. MA2, Jonas Helmick with the neg 5 round 2 and a neg 6 total won MA2. A lot of like these scores are going up, which is awesome. It's super cool to see. JoJo also had a rockin' round 2 with a neg 5 to end neg
Nice.
3 and get second place. So shout out to JoJo as well. I got to talk to him. That he definitely was a little in his head that first round one. I just told him I just saw him in the past and I just walked with him for a little bit and I was like, hey man, chop it down 6 holes at a time. You don't have to take it like a whole round even. Like
Mhm.
you got to reset, good or bad, and just keep playing your game. You play enough golf, and it was awesome to see him like get back on that horse and just keep going at it. So big shout out to him. And big shout out to MA3 winner Austin Myers. Let's go. Neg
That's
1
right.
total on the event. 7-stroke
Nice.
win. MA3. Let's go.
Move up. Move it
Austin
up.
Myers moving up. Come on now.
That's awesome, dude. Good job.
In MA4, we had Christian Holt with a +5 total. Also, a 9-stroke win for him in MA4. So awesome to see. Thanks for
Nice.
coming out, everyone. It was a really cool event. I know the amateurs got there in the player pack. There was some buzz saws available, so that's always
Hmm.
some pretty cool gear for coming out in the snow and
Yeah.
playing some cool rounds. We definitely are gonna take care of you. So
Oh, for
appreciate it.
sure. Yeah, we love putting in some of like the new drops. That's kind of like almost like your reward for kind of like checking in. Like right on time. Like when we open check-in at 7:30, if you're right there, like you might get like something real special. Kind of hidden out there, and it is fun to kind of put a handful of whatever new drop is in, and you have people being like, "Is this for real?" It's like,
Yeah,
yeah, it is, buddy.
come out to
So.
the next one.
For sure, exactly. So, Ollie, once again, man, I really appreciate you kind of picking up the slack for me while I was gone, getting out there and setting up Mandos and that, and just kind of getting there early and like helping out. Same with like Alec Maccabee. I really appreciate everybody that kind of helped Brian kind of take on like my role of usually being at the tournament. So, just thank you
Oh,
to all of you especially, Ollie. So,
dude,
thanks, guys.
oh yeah, this was another thing I wanted to talk about. I don't think I realized how much work, because like this was not even painting lines. This was just putting up some flags. Also, the ground was pretty hard, so the flags we putting in were a little harder. But
Not easy, yeah.
uh, y'all, when you set up an event, you do a ton of work with it, and it shows. Like the course does not just get tournament ready overnight, and I just think it was an underappreciated thing I didn't realize, and like how much work actually you do. So it honestly was cool to see, and I'm it's a new lens on my eye for all these tournament directors, where like they're setting up events, how early they come out there, how they're setting up these lines and doing that earlier in the week. It's not just that Saturday. It's the Wednesday before, it's that Thursday
Yeah,
before. So really,
yeah.
like thank you and shout out to you for all the events you do and keeping Washington disc golf kind of prevalent, man.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, one of the things I would say, like, look at the course. Like, if you're playing a tournament, look at that course like a month before the event, and then look at that course during the event, and you will see if the tournament director's good and he's out there putting the work in. You will see significant changes. You will see clear line. You know what I mean? Just like all the little stuff. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, Brian and I do a lot to. We check a lot of boxes to make sure that we don't miss too many things. So appreciate that. Thank you. There was another event this weekend here in Washington. It was the Evacuation Route presented by Innova. This was ran by Dan Glass down there at Flexline Discs. I don't know too much about this event, but I'm going to go through and give the winners all shout outs. Kyle Crabtree won MPO. Looks like our boy Keone Kahala beat out Sean Barnett in MP40. Looks like they edged out Jedediah as well.
Huge.
Um, yeah, awesome. Good job, Keone. Mark Hill won MP50. Michael Worth won MP60. Looks like he barely beat out Steve Bell and James Hustis. FP60 was won by Christine Hustis. MA1 by Cameron Fung. Maybe that's how you say that. MA40 was won by Frank Baines. MA50 was run by Brent Staticum. Uh, MA60 was won by Hi Henderson. MA2 by Kyle Couture. And FA2 was won by Jennifer Awesome Crispinski, which I'm sure I say this every time I mention their name. They run the Intentional Disc Golfer, the podcast. They do a lot of. I think they just had like Scott Stokely on or
Yep,
something.
I saw that.
Yeah, they do a lot of like kind of talking about like just like topics of disc golf and then kind of deep diving into the topic like week to week kind of thing. So give them a shout, give them a check out. You know, they're Washington people as well. So, um, all right, time for our NHL check in. This is two guys who don't know much about hockey talking about hockey. Um, Sabres and the Kraken, nobody's playing for like 2 weeks or so because they're doing this Four Nations face off. And it's awesome, bro. Have you checked it out at all? Have you
I
seen
have
anything
not.
about it? Dude, it's pretty awesome. So basically, instead of doing an all-star game, they're doing this Four Nations face-off thing. There's four teams. There's a USA, Canada, Sweden, and Finland, and basically those four countries create teams on of players, and those players play against each other in a small like tournament style, like playoff style atmosphere. It's electric. Um,
Mini World Cup of hockey, kind of.
Mini World Cup of hockey kind of thing. So game one of the USA versus Canada, Canadians, I believe, were booing during the national anthem. And 2 seconds into the game, gloves are dropped. Canada, USA, they're fighting. There was 9 fights in the first like 7 seconds or something like that. It's awesome, dude.
I
Go to
love that.
YouTube. Go to YouTube later today and check it out. It's really, really cool. Canada is like a powerhouse. Obviously, like they've always been a powerhouse. They still have like Sidney Crosby on their team. They're incredible. But the USA right now is leading. They have 6 points in the standings over Canada and Sweden, who each have five. Finland's kind of bringing up the backside with 2 points. Um, Canada, they have Crosby, they have Connor McDavid, they have McKinnon, so they have like a really, really like stacked lineup. USA, we have what's the guy's name? Matthews, Austin Matthews. He's like one of the top goal scorers like in the world. He's one that a lot of people want to have. I watched like a little like Instagram clip of a bunch of like Canadian and Sweden players talking about like if they could have one person in the world on their team, like who do they pick? And like most people were saying Jack Eichel, who is on Team USA because he's just like one of the best players in the like all around players. So USA versus Canada, absolutely electric. I think the games are still happening for another couple of days before they take like a week off before they resume. But yeah, it's really really fun. I think this
No,
is a
I'll
great
check.
idea.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna check that out.
I would love to see something like this happen in like basketball. I know some people were talking about maybe like a USA versus World type of game instead of like an all-star game or something like that. I think it's a really fun idea. I like the idea behind it for the NHL especially because you have so many different European countries that contribute players to the NHL like this. It makes so much sense.
Yeah, the NBA needs to do something different with
Yeah.
their game for sure. I think they've done the World versus the USA before, and maybe they'll bring that back. An idea I heard. I don't know if they do. Is there a hockey All Star Weekend though? Besides this,
No, this is what they're doing to replace it, I
instead.
believe.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I
Oh,
believe. There might be I think. But the podcast I was listening to today was saying how this is essentially replacing it.
okay. Because what they're talking about wanting to do, and I think that, so the WNBA, they or not the WNBA. There's a new women's basketball league called Unrivaled. It's like a 3-on-3 shortened court league they have in Miami. It's all the teams are in Miami right now, and they're playing, or they at least they play there. And it's like I think it's lower amount of players on the court as well, but it's pretty cool. But they did a 1v1 tournament, which ended up like looking really really cool. And the NBA kind of wanted to like take that and make it a. They're gonna put $1 million on the winner of the 1v1 tournament. So like give them some incentive to go and do
Yeah.
something with that. Like give them
That's
a.
so that's so tough though because it's like there's gonna be certain players that will be like, I'm not getting out of bed for $1 million. Like I'm gonna take the night off for $1 million.
That's why I want to get some of the guys on like the minimum. I want them to like
Yeah,
double their contract and be playing hard.
get
But
like rookies out there.
yeah,
Guys who are like, dude, that's a huge payday. Like
yeah,
that's cool.
it would
I
be
looked it up.
interesting.
I looked it up, and this Four Nations face-off is taking place of the All Star game. So no All Star game, just the Four Nations like
What if you're not
confirmed.
from one of the four nations?
I think you just got like your week off.
It's crazy.
kind of nice at the same time, just to be
Yeah,
like, whatever, have some time off. It does. If you're gonna do that, here's kind of the weird side of this, right? If you're gonna do that, you can't like during contract negotiations be like, well, you weren't an all-star for X amount of years. It's like
yeah. Like,
there
come
was no
on,
all-star
man.
game. Yeah, like that's
Bro,
you can't.
sorry, I'm not Canadian.
I know, right? Like Jesus, I was born in the Czech
I
Republic. What
know
the fuck
some
do you want from me?
exactly. Oh,
But yeah,
that's cool.
listen to some Sabres stuff though. Kind of like wrapping this up because I spent a lot of time in the car yesterday. Um, I was saying what like 2 weeks ago that the Sabres need like a leader on the team. I'm saying that still. We need like a guy who's established who can score and kind of lead the staff. But after watching this USA versus Canada like fight, we need a goon. Like we need a guy who's gonna go out there who's gonna like defend these kids and he's gonna like crack some heads and like a guy who's gonna lead our team in penalty minutes. Like we need one of those guys like through and through. So
I feel that.
yeah, trade deadline's coming up in about a month. Hopefully the Sabres, make some action and kind of do some moves there, but we'll see.
That's cool.
Yeah. All right. So moving right along, we'll get into the draft this week. This week the draft is the W draft because we're making our way through the letters still. Ollie, do you want first pick or do you want second two?
I'll take the second two.
Okay.
I'm praying you
Um,
don't take this one. I'm hoping to snipe it from you.
Interesting. My list is fine. I don't think my list is necessarily like
Oh, I think I like this then. I don't.
okay. I don't hate my list. I think my list is kind of deep. So, with number one, the first thing on my list for the number one overall W pick, I'm picking winning. I fucking love
Oh,
winning.
yeah, that's a good
That's
number one pick.
it seems like the most like logical one. Like, what are we doing every weekend? We're out there trying to win. Like winning is the ultimate goal. Trying to win. So,
I agree. I agree. I like the win. I think win is a good one. Now, this puts me in a great position to get pretty fun with it. First, I'm going to say it. Waffles over pancakes. Come on, give me my
whoa.
waffle over my pancake.
Wow. All right. Can I throw a controversial third in the mix? Because I'm a French toast guy.
Whoa! No, no, I like French. I love French toast. I love French. Okay, to be fair, I like all three of them. I just
Yeah, yeah.
like waffles maybe the most.
Sure. Okay.
The way the waffle sits in the with the syrup and everything and the
Yep.
butter, how it like cups it.
Yep.
That's my favorite. I like it. I like it the
Are you
most.
an Are you an Eggos guy?
I, I'm an
Yeah.
Eggos guy. I love Eggos for sure.
My favorite waffle, and I'll get fucked up when I buy them. I'll get the little cinnamon
Cinnamon
sugar
squares
ones.
ones. Oh my
Oh, I'll eat fucking six of those waffles in a breakfast sitting, and then sit on the couch and be like, "Why do I feel gross?" Oh yeah, you just ate a pound of waffle, you fuck.
dude! I
Oh
make a bunch of those and I'll put peanut butter on one half and jelly on the other, and then I'll make little peanut butter pull aparts, and I'm
yes,
eating them, and I'm like, what am I doing? I have like eight of them
yes.
and sitting on my plate, and I'm like, oh.
They're so good, dude. Oh my god.
So we're gonna
Yeah.
take waffles, and then we're gonna. I think this is where we're gonna go get the steal. I think I like
Uh-oh.
this one. We're gonna take World Wrestling Entertainment, the WWE.
You're an asshole because you knew I was gonna pick that.
No, the WWE, man. Come on,
Yeah.
it brings a bunch of people together. I feel like it's
Hmm.
super super fun entertainment. Um,
Yeah. You suck. You knew I was gonna pick that. He knew I was gonna pick it.
he said
What
he
a
had a
dick.
deep list. Let's see how deep it is.
All right, all right. I'll show you. My next pick for number four, I'm picking the World Wide Web.
Okay,
Basically
okay.
the
Yep,
internet, bro.
yep. No, that's good.
Like, what are we doing right now? We're on the web. Like, nobody really calls it the web anymore, but And then, you know what, man? I wasn't gonna pick this, but because you're being a little jerk about it, I'm gonna pick wrestling. Like, at its core,
Oh,
like we picking old school wrestling. Yeah. Like you want
back
to
to
pick the
the Greeks,
WWE? Go
back to
ahead.
the Greeks and the Romans.
You can have your entertainment. We picking old school wrestling.
All right, 100 likes and me and Kirby will do a wrestling match.
Oh, bro, that would be so cool. I'm so down. Honestly, like One like and I'm down. Yeah, I only
Okay, no, no,
outweigh you by like 100 pounds. Like,
no. You got to get in my weight class. That's the only thing.
yeah, I gotta drop.
I
Meet me in
fight
the middle.
my fight weight's 105, so get down.
Oh my god, I literally would have to lose about. I would have to lose probably about 95 pounds to get down to you.
And then I kick your ass.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just coming in this like frail human being.
That's what I tell anyone they want to fight me. I'm like, yeah, just get in my weight class. We can totally get this going.
All right, what you got for number 6?
For number 6, we are going to go with. Ooh, this is where it gets a little hard. I feel like I was really excited about that one. I kind of got a little too excited.
A little disappointed, but it's fine.
Really disappointed.
Yeah, just it's fine. It's fine.
We're gonna go with Warner Brothers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good one.
yeah.
I didn't even think about that one.
We'll go with Warner Brothers. I like that.
Nice. And then you got the number 7 pick as well.
Oh, and with number 7, we will go with. So, as my last pick, I could go a couple ways. I don't. I think I'm gonna go with this because such a big value guy. Not as much anymore. I don't go. I'm not hitting it like how maybe like did back in high school or college, but Wendy's 4 for $4. Wendy's biggie bag. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Give me my Give it to me, man. $4. It's no more. It's a non-existent thing. So that is fake. But when it was there, the $4 4 for $4 was so crazy of a deal, and I'm just such a good deals guy.
Yeah.
Shout out to the deal, man.
Yeah. No, I'm rocking like the Taco Bell app because you can get like better deals. Yeah, no, I'm all about the deals like that, man.
McDonald's
For
app,
sure.
you can get all the old school menu where it's like everything's like $1 again. I'm like, oh my god.
It's so good. And they do like exclusive deals on there, and then you can build up points and get free stuff. Dude, yeah, I'm pretty much ordering everything now off of apps before I go and actually
It's
purchase
crazy.
it
I was
nowadays.
pretty against the food ordering apps at first when like every like McDonald's. I was like, I don't want to get a
Yes.
McDonald's app, but now I'm
Yeah.
like, I want the McDonald's app.
Like, yo, like you mean I get points, bro? Like, just give me your receipt, I'll scan it.
Hey,
Like,
you didn't ask. You didn't ask if I have the code.
yeah, exactly. Like, I like to make the joke to my wife when we go to Starbucks in the morning. I'll be like, we'll go into the drive-thru. I'll be like, honey, they know me here. I'm gonna need you to not embarrass me. And then we pull up, and I'm like, it's Kirby, and they go, okay, Kirby, see you in the next window. I go, see what I tell you. They know who I am. Like, I'm a big shot, no big deal. All right. So for the last pick to round out the W draft, I'm gonna go with a couple of honorable mentions. I have Wander, I have Water, I have Wank, I have Waterproof Shoes, and Weird are all my honorable mentions. But I'm gonna think for the number 8 pick of the W draft, one of my favorite summer foods, watermelon. Love it.
Watermelon. That's a great. I was leaning towards it on my list. I was thinking about it. I think it's a good one. I think that's a very successful. It could have been even. It's a potential like top 3 pick in my opinion. That
I think it could be. I think
Yeah.
if this was like June or July, we might be throwing watermelon up there with one of our first couple of picks.
yeah.
So
I think that's where you go depending on Yeah.
yeah. So to recap all the draft here, Ollie picked Waffles, WWE, Warner Brothers, and Wendy's 4 for $4. I picked Winning, World Wide Web, which I get like extra credit for that one. Wrestling and watermelon. So, all right.
I dig it. Episode 46. Appreciate y'all. Great to have Kirby back in the 206. I got a quote here from Spider Lockhart, one of my new favorite Giants that I learned about. Just I didn't really know about him that much before the show. Then I did a deep dive on him a couple weeks ago. Now I'm like, that's my guy.
Oh, my boy Spider?
My boy Spider Lockhart. And this is about Jim Brown, one of the great running backs in the NFL. The only way to stop Jim Brown was to give him a movie contract. Does that really stop him? Jim Brown's movie career was also as destructive as his running style. Aim high, shoot low. We will see you next week for episode 47. Peace!
Did you hit the button?
Yeah.
Oh, you did? I never saw the numbers come up. All right, I'm just gonna start it now.
Yeah.
Fucking sweet. Um, hey, Basket Brains, Kirby here, aka Dark. Well, okay, I still have zeros on both of my.
Here, let me go redo.
Sorry, yeah, I have zeros on my like 0%, 0%. I don't know what's going on. Sorry.